Welcome back my YouTube channel Worth Old Coin Value. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most interesting and valuable in this coin, R1 1985 Viljoen South Africa coin. And it has an astonishing value of $45,500 now. You're probably wondering, what makes this coin so special? What gives it such a sky-high value? Well, stick around as we explore its history, design, rarity, and how it became one of the most sought-after coins in the world today. To understand the true value of the R1 1985 Viljoen, we first need to take a step back into the history of South Africa in the 1980s. At the time, the country was going through some turbulent times, politically and economically. South Africa was still under the apartheid regime, a system of institutionalized racial segregation and discrimination that would not end until 1994. The South African Rand, which is the currency of South Africa, had been in use since 1961, replacing the pound. In the 1980s, inflation and political unrest were causing economic strain, but despite all that, the 1985 R1 coin would soon become one of the most legendary pieces of South African currency. Let's talk design. The 1985 Viljoen Rand was part of the South African government's coinage issue that featured prominent figures and symbols tied to the country's history. The coin was named after General Nicholas Jacobus Viljoen, a famous South African military leader. He played a significant role in the early days of the country's military efforts during the late 1800s. On the obverse side, you'll see an image of General Viljoen himself. This is one of the first things that makes this coin stand out. The level of detail in the engraving is truly remarkable, capturing his facial features with precision. On the reverse side, you'll notice the springbok antelope, a national symbol of South Africa, leaping gracefully. The springbok has always been a symbol of endurance and resilience, and it perfectly encapsulates the spirit of the nation during this turbulent era. Now, let's get to the juicy part. Why is this coin worth such a massive $45,500? Well, rarity plays a huge role in determining its value. Although millions of coins were minted in 1985, the Viljoen design had a few rare variants that were mistakenly released into circulation. These errors were initially overlooked by the general public, but coin collectors eventually realized that certain mints had a lower mintage. You see, out of all the R1 1985 coins, some had a rare variety or error in the minting process. These coins were part of a limited run that was accidentally struck with a different metal composition, giving them unique characteristics like unusual weight, size, or even slight design inconsistencies. That makes them highly sought after by collectors today. Coins like these are not only valuable because of their rarity, but also because they represent a piece of history. Every coin tells a story, and this one, in particular, represents the resilience of South Africa during a pivotal time in the country's history. When you hold one of these, you're holding a physical connection to a chapter in history. Now, when it comes to evaluating the value of rare coins, grading is everything. The R1 1985 Viljoen coin is no exception. Coins are graded based on their condition, whether they are uncirculated, proof, or somewhere in between. A coin in mint condition, or MS 70, which is the highest grade, will obviously command a premium price. The 1985 Viljoen Rand with a flawless design, sharp edges, and no signs of wear can push its price up to $45,500 or more. On the other hand, if the coin is worn or has noticeable scratches, its value can drop dramatically. So, you're probably wondering, how can I get my hands on one of these rare R1 1985 Viljoen coins? Well, you might be surprised to know that they can still occasionally pop up at coin shops, estate sales, or even online auctions. The key is to keep your eyes peeled and understand what to look for. If you're planning to hunt for one of these coins, make sure to check the authenticity of the coin. Look at the markings, the design details, and most importantly, the grade of the coin. This is where expert collectors often come in, because they know exactly what to look for. Not only does the R1 1985 Viljoen coin hold immense monetary value, but it has become a cultural and historical icon for collectors. It symbolizes a country on the brink of change, a time when South Africa was undergoing a transformation that would ultimately lead to the end of apartheid and the birth of a new nation. The value of this coin is not just tied to its scarcity but also to the story it tells. If you own one of these, you're holding a piece of South African heritage that stood the test of time. So there you have it. The R1 1985 Viljoen South Africa coin. A true treasure in the world of coin collecting piece of currency. This coin R5 South Africa, the famous 1994 South African coins. These coins have captured the imaginations of collectors and investors alike due to their unique design, historical significance, and, of course, their soaring value. Some of these coins are worth millions today. So what makes these coins so special? Let's find out together. Let's break it down and uncover the fascinating story behind this remarkable piece of history to truly understand why a 1994 South African coin could be worth millions. We first need to look at the rich history of South African currency. South Africa, as a country with a turbulent political history, has seen many changes in its currency over the years. In 1994, South Africa was in a period of transition. The apartheid regime was coming to an end, and Nelson Mandela was elected as the first black president in the nation's history. The significance of this change is not just political but also had a major impact on the country's currency. In fact, the year 1994 saw the introduction of a new set of coins. The 1994 South African coins were designed to represent this new era, one of unity, peace, and democracy. These coins would go on to become some of the most sought after in the world, especially by collectors. One of the standout coins from 1994 was the gold Krugerrand, a coin famous for its gold content and its design featuring a bust of Paul Kruger, the former president of the South African Republic. It was first minted in 1967 and became the most widely traded gold coin in the world. The 1994 Krugerrand holds particular significance because it marks a milestone in South Africa's history. This specific 1994 edition of the Krugerrand was minted in honor of South Africa's first democratic elections. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of history. But did you know, one particular gold Krugerrand from that year has become one of the most valuable coins ever now? You may be wondering, what makes this specific 1994 South Africa Krugerrand worth $4 million? Well, this isn't just any regular Krugerrand. It's an extremely rare variation, a 1994 Krugerrand that was accidentally struck with a misprint, making it an error coin. And let me tell you, when it comes to rare coin collecting, error coins can skyrocket in value. This coin was mistakenly struck with an incorrect weight. It weighs significantly more than the standard Krugerrand. This error wasn't discovered until years later, and it became one of the most sought-after coins in the numismatic community. Error coins like this one can be incredibly valuable. Why? Because they are essentially one of a kind. A slight mistake during minting can make a coin stand out from all the others, which is precisely what happened here. This coin was the result of a special set of circumstances, including a minting process that was disrupted during the coin's production. The most crucial detail? The weight discrepancy. This particular coin weighed several grams more than a regular Krugerrand, making it a unique piece. But not just any coin collector could have known its true value when it was first minted. It wasn't until decades later that a keen-eyed numismatist recognized the error and brought the coin to the public's attention. That's when the bidding wars began. After the coin was discovered and authenticated, it was put up for auction by one of the most renowned auction houses in the world. What happened next was absolutely incredible. The bidding war for this rare 1994 South African Krugerrand escalated to an unbelievable $4 million. But what's really interesting about this is how this coin is a perfect example of how value is determined in the world of numismatics. It's not always about the metal content or the rarity alone. The backstory, the error, the historical significance, all of these factors play into the value of a coin. And let me tell you, the fact that this coin represents the end of apartheid and the dawn of a new era for South Africa, that just adds to its allure. Now, you may be asking, how can I find a coin like this? Well, finding such a rare coin is no easy feat. It's about patience, knowledge, and sometimes a little bit of luck. Coin collectors spend years building their collections, and each piece holds its own unique story. Coins like this Krugerrand show us that value isn't just about monetary worth. It's also about the history they represent. A coin can be a reflection of its time, a window into the past, and a link to the events that shaped our world. For many collectors, rare coins are more than just collectibles. they're an investment. But how can you start collecting rare coins, and what should you look out for? When it comes to investing, rarity, historical significance, and condition are key factors. In some cases, like this 1994 Krugerrand, errors or mistakes in minting can make a coin worth significantly more than its face value. If you're interested in starting a coin collection, make sure to do thorough research. Visit reputable coin shops, attend numismatic conventions, and connect with fellow collectors. And remember, don't just buy any coin because of its potential value. A true collector treasures the history and story behind every coin. So, there you have it. The incredible story of the 1994 South African Krugerrand that sold for a jaw-dropping $4 million. It's a coin that embodies the changing times in South Africa, and one that will forever be remembered in numismatic history. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most interesting and valuable coins in the coin 1985 1-cent coin, which, believe it or not, is worth a staggering $2 million. But wait, this isn't just any coin you can find in your pocket change. Today, we're diving into what makes this coin so valuable, the story behind it, and how you might get your hands on one. Stick with me for the next 15 minutes, because by the end of this video, you'll be a coin expert and might just discover that rare gem sitting somewhere close to you. Let's start with a bit of history. The 1985 South African 1-center coin is part of a series issued by the South African Reserve Bank. Now, South Africa, a country with a rich and complex history, has had multiple currency changes, especially during the 20th century. In the 1980s, South Africa was under apartheid rule, a politically and socially tumultuous time. During this period, the currency system reflected not just economic factors but also the changing political landscape. In 1985, the South African Mint produced a set of coins that included the 1 cent, 2 cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, 20 cent, and 50 cent pieces. At first glance, the 1 cent coin doesn't seem like it would have much value, but it was actually the design and production that would eventually make it one of the most collectible coins in the world. Now, let's talk about why this seemingly modest 1 cent coin can fetch an incredible $2 million. The key here is rarity. In numismatics, value is driven by several factors: rarity, demand, and condition. And when it comes to the 1985 1 cent coin, all three of these factors come into play. First off, most of the 1 cent coins from this year were mass-produced. However, there was a particular set of coins, those struck with a rare minting error. This error, which happened in the production process, led to the coin being unintentionally misaligned, giving it unique characteristics that make it stand out from the rest. As you can see here, the error coins are slightly misstruck. They are rare, and collectors are always on the lookout for coins like these that have a bit of imperfection, because that imperfection can lead to a huge leap in value. Some sources say that only a few hundred of these error coins exist, making them incredibly rare. When something is so scarce, collectors and investors start bidding up the price. And that's exactly what happened with the 1985 1 cent. So, why the massive value? It comes down to the fierce competition among collectors. Coins like these are like treasures, rare, historically significant, and deeply coveted. At coin auctions, a single 1985 1 cent coin with the minting error could go for millions. As collectors from around the world are willing to pay top dollar to complete their collections or make lucrative investments. The growing demand for rare South African coins, particularly ones from this era, has only added to the coin's allure. On online platforms like eBay or specialized coin auctions, you'll often see these coins fetching well over $1 million. Sometimes even more, depending on condition and the specifics of the mint error. Now, if you're out there searching through your collection or your spare change, how can you tell if you have one of these $1 million coins? Let's break it down. First, look for the misaligned strike I mentioned earlier. You should be able to see an off-center design, meaning the obverse and reverse of the coin aren't perfectly aligned. Second, pay attention to the wear and tear. Coins in mint or near mint condition are the ones that fetch the highest prices. Remember to keep your coins in good condition and protect them from corrosion or scratches. The more pristine, the more valuable. So there you have it, the 1985 South African 1 center coin, a little piece of history worth millions of dollars. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your numismatic journey, Always keep an eye out for those rare finds. Coin 5-cent coin from South Africa, minted in 1977 ***. Now, you might be wondering, why should you care about a coin that's almost half a century old? Well, buckle up, because in this video, we'll explore why this seemingly humble 5-cent coin is actually worth an incredible $38,900. That's right, this little coin could change your life. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know everything there is to know about this rare gem. Before we get into the juicy details of how this coin came to be worth so much, let's talk about its background. The 5-cent coin from South Africa was first introduced in 1961. But the real story starts in 1977 with the minting of this particular year. It's the design, the rarity, and historical context that make it such a valuable collector's item today. To understand the significance of the 5-cent coin from 1977, we need to take a step back in time. The 1970s in South Africa were a time of political change, tension, and history in the making. Apartheid, which was a system of institutionalized racial segregation, was in full swing. The 1977 coin was minted during this time, and although the coin itself wasn't directly tied to these events, the design is incredibly telling. On the obverse of the coin, we have a portrait of Jan van Riebeeck, the founder of Cape Colony. He's depicted in a detailed, engraved style that reflects the colonial past of South Africa. On the reverse side, we see the iconic springbok antelope, a symbol of South African national pride. The springbok was used on many South African coins and is a beloved symbol of the country's wildlife and heritage. It's also worth noting that the design of this coin was created by the renowned South African artist, Koert Steinberg, and it represents the high-quality craftsmanship that South African coinage was known for at the time. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1977 5-cent coin so valuable. The first thing to note is rarity. Coins that are in mint condition or have been preserved well over the years are often worth much more than their face value. So how rare is the 5 cents from 1977 in terms of rarity? Only a limited number of 5-cent coins were ever produced in 1977. While most of the coins are still around, finding one in uncirculated condition, meaning it has no wear and tear and still shines like new, is incredibly difficult. That's what makes these coins so desirable to collectors. The ones that survive in mint condition are what fetch the highest prices. So, let's get to the million-dollar question. Why is the 1977 5-cent coin worth $38,900? This value is based on several factors. First, the coin is considered a key date in the South African coin series, meaning that it was minted in an era of low production, which makes it harder to find today. Coins in pristine condition, often graded as MS65 or higher, can fetch a lot of money at auction. Some have even been sold for as much as $38,900, a mind-blowing figure for a coin worth only 5 cents when it was first minted. To give you some perspective, just one or two of these rare 1977 coins could be sold at auction for more than the price of a luxury car or high-end house. That's the kind of potential this coin holds now. You're probably wondering, do I have one of these valuable 1977 5-cent coins? Here's how to check. First, make sure the coin you have is from 1977. There should be a small 1977 minted on the coin's obverse. Then, check the condition of the coin. Look for signs of wear and tear, scratches, or discoloration. A coin that is still in perfect condition with minimal signs of wear is more likely to be valuable. If you're still unsure, you can get your coin professionally graded by a numismatic expert. Another way to sell or appraise your coin is by getting involved in the coin collecting community. There are countless online forums, auction houses, and numismatic dealers where you can connect with experts who specialize in rare South African coins. Many collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins like the 5 cents from 1977, especially if it's in amazing condition. So, there you have it. The 5 cents coin from 1977 is more than just a piece of currency and history. This 1968 Charles Swart coin could be worth a staggering $78,400. Yes, you heard that right. Stay tuned as we break down the value, the rarity, and why this coin is so incredibly valuable. Before we get into the specifics of the 1968 2-cent coin, let's take a quick look at the history of South African coinage. South Africa has a rich numismatic tradition, with coins dating back to the 1800s. By the mid-1900s, South Africa had adopted the decimal currency system, and coins like the 2-cent became an essential part of everyday life. These coins were minted in a variety of metals, and some, like the 1968 Charles Swart 2 cents, are highly prized today due to their rarity and historical significance. Now, let's look at the design. The 1968 South African 2 cents coin features Charles Swart, who was the president of the Republic of South Africa from 1968 to 1975. His portrait is featured on the obverse side of the coin. On the reverse side, you'll find the image of a springbok, which has been a symbol of South Africa for decades. The springbok, a native antelope, represents the country's wildlife and national pride. These iconic designs make this coin not only valuable, but a beautiful representation of South African heritage. So, why is this 1968 Charles Swart 2 cents coin worth so much? The value of this coin has skyrocketed due to a few important factors. First off, rarity. While most of the 1968 coins were minted in large quantities, a limited number were struck with a key characteristic, the no mint mark variety. This is what sets certain 1968 2-cent coins apart. Most of the 1968 2-cent coins have a mint mark, but those that don't are extremely rare and highly coveted by collectors. The second reason for its value is its condition. Coins in mint condition, or as close to mint as possible, command the highest prices in the numismatic world. And there's a third factor, demand. The South African coin market has seen a steady increase in collectors wanting to get their hands on rare pieces like this one, driving the price even higher. Now, let's talk about how you can spot this valuable 1968 Charles Swart coin and potentially add it to your collection. First, check for the absence of a mint mark. The mint mark is usually located at the bottom of the coin, near the date. If it's missing, it's a sign that you may have found the rare variety. Next, examine the condition of the coin. Look for any scratches, dents, or discoloration. A well-preserved coin will be worth significantly more than one in poor condition. You might come across one in your change or at estate sales, but the real gold mine is in auction houses, specialized coin dealers, and online marketplaces like eBay. Just make sure to authenticate the coin before purchasing, especially if you're paying a premium for a piece like this now. Let's talk numbers. The value of this coin varies depending on its condition and rarity. If you manage to find the no mint mark variety in excellent condition, it can sell for upwards of $78,400, or even more if there's bidding competition. Coins with minor wear can fetch anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000, but it's the perfect, uncirculated coins that command top dollar. These coins have been sold at high-profile auctions around the world, fetching record-breaking amounts. Some collectors even argue that the value might continue to rise as the number of uncirculated coins dwindles, making this a great investment for numismatic enthusiasts. Now, if you're lucky enough to own rare coins like the 1968 2-cent Charles Swart coin, it's important to preserve them properly to maintain their value. Use high-quality coin holders, such as 2x2 holders, airtight capsules, or acid-free coin flips. Always handle your coins with clean, dry hands, and store them in a cool, dry place away from sunlight and humidity. Never clean your coins, as this can significantly decrease their value. To wrap up, the 1968 Charles Swart 2 cents coin is a remarkable piece of South African history. Today, we'll explore the rare 1965 10 cents coin from South Africa and why it could be worth more than you ever imagined. Let's start with a bit of history. The South African 10 cents coin was first issued in 1961 as part of the country's move to decimalize its currency. Before that, South Africa had been using the pound as its currency. Now, 1965 was an important year for South Africa as it was a period of significant political and economic changes in the country. Under the apartheid regime, the economy was shifting and new coins were being minted as part of the country's national identity. This 10-cent coin features the famous springbok antelope on the reverse side, which is an iconic symbol of South Africa. On the obverse, you'll find the portrait of the then Prime Minister, Hendrik Verwoerd, who played a significant role in South Africa's apartheid system. Now, let's get into what makes this coin so rare and valuable. The 1965 South Africa 10-cent coin is particularly interesting because it was minted in very limited quantities. The standard 10-cent coins were produced in both copper, nickel, and silver, but the 1965 coin, specifically, is part of a very rare set. Most of the coins produced in this year are in relatively good condition, but a few key pieces are highly sought after by collectors for their scarcity and the year they were produced. What's crucial to understand here is the condition of the coin. Coin collectors and numismatists often refer to the rarity of a coin by its minting era, its historical significance, and its condition. A coin in mint state, meaning it's nearly perfect, will have a far higher value than one that's been heavily worn over the years. Now, you may be wondering, what makes this specific 1965 coin worth such an incredible amount of money? Well, it all comes down to a very rare variety of this coin that was accidentally minted with a unique error, a double die or a misstrike. This minting mistake resulted in coins that had a more prominent, clearer strike with extra features that weren't intended to be there. Because of this error, collectors are willing to pay a premium for any coin that features this anomaly. The 1965 10-cent coin with this double die or misstrike has been known to fetch bids of up to $2 million at auctions. You might think, how does a simple mistake make a coin worth so much? Well, in the world of numismatics, errors like these are highly sought after, especially when they're as rare as this. Collectors know that the rarer the error, the higher the value. In fact, this particular coin is considered to be one of the holy grail finds in South African numismatics. Only a handful of these coins with the error exist, which makes them exceptionally valuable. Now, let's talk about how you can identify whether you have a valuable coin on your hands. First off, examine the date. Look for a 1965 coin. Then, check the features of the coin closely. You want to look for any doubling in the numbers or the design, which could indicate a double die error. Sometimes, these errors can be subtle, so make sure you look carefully. Use a magnifying glass or a coin microscope if you can. If you think you've found an error coin, your best bet is to have it professionally graded by a trusted numismatist or grading service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. These organizations can assess your coin and assign it a grade, which significantly impacts its value. Once you've identified a rare coin and have it professionally graded, you may want to sell it. The best place to start is through major auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, or even eBay, where many rare coins are sold to the highest bidder. Another option is to sell it through specialized numismatic dealers or online forums dedicated to coin collectors. But remember, always be cautious and do your research. Only deal with trusted professionals to avoid scams. There you have it. The 1965 South African 10-cent coin. An artifact that could be worth millions of dollars due to a rare minting error. If you have one of these coins in your collection story in top 2, the coin rare 1992 South Africa 20-cent coin. And we're going to explore why it could fetch as much as $4 million. Yes, you heard that right. $4 million. So, if you have one of these coins lying around, you might want to stick around for the next 20 minutes as we uncover all the secrets of this remarkable piece of numismatic history. The 1992 20-cent coin is a key player in the story of South Africa's coinage history. Issued in the early 90s, South Africa was undergoing significant political and social changes, leading to the transition from apartheid to a more democratic system. The 20-cent coin itself features a striking design, showcasing a springbok, one of South Africa's most iconic animals. Known for its speed and agility, in 1992, a regular production of these coins took place, But what makes this particular year special isn't just the design. It's the incredibly rare misprints and limited mintage that happen behind the scenes. Now, what's crucial here is that while most of these coins are relatively common, a small portion of them were misstruck or had defects during the minting process. This is where things get interesting. There were several errors that occurred in 1992, including an extremely rare coin that went into circulation with a completely incorrect die, one that features the wrong inscription or a misaligned design. These coins are the ones collectors are hunting for. Imagine holding a coin that's worth more than just its face value of 20 cents. We're talking about a coin that could be worth $4 million. How does that happen? It's all about rarity, demand, and the mistake made during production. In 1992, a small batch of 20-cent coins was struck with an error that caused the coin to be misaligned or display incorrect markings. It's important to understand that error coins, particularly those from well-known mints like the South African Mint, are highly prized by collectors. And when a coin like this is discovered, its value can skyrocket. As you can see in this comparison, the misstruck coin looks very similar to the standard version at first glance. But upon closer inspection, the difference is unmistakable. These rare error coins are incredibly valuable because they're unique, and the story behind them makes them even more desirable to collectors. So, what exactly makes error coins so valuable? Well, when it comes to coins like the 1992 South Africa 20 cent, rarity is the key factor. The fewer the errors, the higher the demand among collectors. And when a coin is this rare, collectors go crazy for it. It's a mix of history, scarcity, and the thrill of owning something that not many people have. Error coins are typically graded by numismatists, experts who assess their authenticity, condition, and rarity. A coin with the right error in pristine condition could be worth a lot more than its face value. Now, $4 million might sound like an exaggeration, but there have been cases where specific misprinted coins have sold for astronomical amounts. Take, for instance, a famous 20-cent error coin that recently sold at auction for millions. This shows us that even a small minting mistake can lead to a huge payday. But of course, these types of error coins don't come around every day. Alright, so now you're probably wondering how you can spot a potential 1992 South Africa 20-cent coin error in your collection. The first step is to check for visual signs of misalignment or irregularities in the design. You're looking for things like doubled inscriptions, incorrect mint marks, or a misaligned die. If the coin looks off-center or has any unusual features, there's a good chance it might be an error coin. Take a look at this example. Notice how the image and text are slightly askew? That's an example of a misaligned die. This type of error could be one that increases the value of your coin. Also, you'll want to check the coin's mint mark and compare it to others from the same year. If something doesn't seem right, get it appraised by an expert. So, let's say you found a rare 1992 South Africa 20-cent error coin. What do you do next? First, get it appraised. There are plenty of online resources where you can find reputable numismatists who specialize in rare coins. And many auction houses around the world are known for selling high-value coins like this one. If you're lucky enough to have a coin that is worth millions, make sure you have proper documentation, and consider selling it through a trusted auction site or a well-known dealer who specializes in high-end rare coins. So, to recap, the 1992 South Africa 20-cent coin is a treasure trove for collectors, especially if you happen to come across an error coin. With a little bit of luck and the right circumstances, you could be holding a coin worth millions. Remember to keep your eyes peeled for those rare mistakes, and make sure you have it checked out by a professional. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your fellow collectors, and subscribe for more exciting coin discovery tips. Also, let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin yourself and what it's worth. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next time.